Hi guys, my name is Karan Joshi. I'm a registered migration agent here at Aussizz Group, and today I've got Simple Core with me. She's also a registered migration agent again at Aussizz Group. Today we are going to talk about few different topics. We'll start off with student visa refusals and cancellations and how to proceed with your tribunal applications or the AAT, Administrative Appeals Tribunal applications. And then we will move on to fortnight visas, the procedures, how to apply for a visa if you're trying to apply by yourself, what are the pitfalls that you need to be careful about, and then we would like to talk about the recent updates, especially considering the invitation round that's coming up on 11th of July. The new financial has just started, and we're really hoping for the more and more invitations to come out. So Simple Core will have more updates for us on that. And if you'd like us to talk about anything else, please write your questions in the comment section, and we'll try and get to each questions once we are done with the cancellations and updates. Right. So I'd like to start with the student cancellations. Now, I've come across quite a few NOICC notices regarding student visas. So first of all, what is NOICC? So NOICC stands for Notice of Intent to Consider Cancellations, right? So like every visa, student visa also has certain conditions, and as a student you are required to abide by those visa conditions. So mainly those conditions are your work conditions, that you cannot work more than 40 hours a fortnight. There's a condition called 8202, which is that you must maintain your enrollment in a registered course of study, and that you must attend that course, and that you must progress through that course. So usually, and then there are conditions on you must maintain your overseas student health cover. So out of all these conditions, the typical cancellations are mostly on the basis of breaching the work condition. Sometimes students caught working more than 40 hours a fortnight. And occasionally I've seen conditions where students breach 8202, which is they don't maintain their enrollment in the registered course. And that usually happens when you enroll into a course of study, say a bachelor's degree, you downgrade your bachelor's degree to a certificate 3 level course, and then you not maintain your enrollment in a bachelor's degree.
And also on the basis of the attendance as well.
As well. So your school is required to submit attendance to the department, and when your attendance goes below 80%, there's something called section 20, which means the school is legally required to report to the department that your attendance have gone below 80%, and then department can potentially consider you for cancellation. So, but anyways, look, a lot of the students already know about all this. You guys might think, okay, what's new? We already know if we breach our visa conditions, yes, we can be considered for cancellations. So today I'm going to talk about the procedure of cancellations, how the department would consider whether to cancel you or not. But anyways, look, a lot of students already know about this. So generally what happens is, if the department finds out that you are in a breach of any condition, department does not automatically cancel your visa. Department would serve you something called NOICC, like I said, Notice of Intent to Consider Cancellation. So once you receive any such notice, you got 5 calendar days, not 5 working days. You got 5 calendar days to respond to the notice and to explain to the immigration department that why they shouldn't cancel your visa. You need to prove why you not breached the visa condition, or why you believe that you not breached the visa condition.
So basically you'll have to comment on the, if you have not complied with any of the conditions of the student visa, so you need to, students need to comment on that why didn't you meet that condition. Then immigration can consider that comments, and then immigration can proceed further.
That's right. And then if the department is not satisfied with your reasoning, they can still go ahead and cancel your visa, and in that event they would notify you. So once they've notified you of your cancellation, you got 21 days. Again, it's 21 calendar days and not 21 working days. So then you got 21 days to apply to the tribunal or apply to the AAT for the review of this decision.
Also, I've seen many of the cancellation notice of cancellation on the basis of the misleading information. So right. Some people they put misleading information in the application, student visa application. I guess that is not intentional, but still you can get notice of intention to cancellation of your visa. And you can, once you have received that notification to cancel the visa, you cannot correct that information in the student visa application. So you cannot say that immigration that you have provided that information incorrectly, or maybe that was a typing mistake or something like that. You cannot correct that information later on. So you have to just provide the explanation.
That's
on
right.
That. Yeah.
And especially in recent past months, there have been one issue with driving Uber or Uber Eats, and there have been a rumor going around that if you drive Uber Eats, or students are not allowed to drive Uber Eats, if you drive Uber Eats, your visas do get cancelled. That's not entirely the truth.
It's not Uber.
It's got nothing to do with Uber, but it's about how many hours you spend driving Uber. So in one of our previous videos also we discussed that how department considers how many hours you actually drew on Uber Eats. So it's not about how many hours you actually drew, but it's about how many hours you are logged into the app and you are ready to accept a job. So as long as you are ready to accept a job, whether you accepted the job or not, whether you delivered a food or whether you delivered a passenger or not, but as long as you are ready to accept the job, you are considered to be working, and those hours do get contributed towards your 40 hours of fortnight requirement. So if you're driving Uber Eats part-time along with your any other job, please do ensure that how many hours you're spending on your mobile logged into that app and you're ready to accept a job.
So I guess I would like to start with the refusals. I would start with AAT. So what is AAT? AAT is Administrative Appeals Tribunal. So when you get a student visa refusal or a 485 refusal or any kind of visa which you have applied onshore, if you get any refusals, then you can apply to the tribunal. So when you get a refusal onshore, you have 21 days to apply for the AAT, and that's basically the review, that why did immigration refuse your visa, and you can appeal to the tribunal. You can take your case further to the tribunal to win your case, or you can provide your explanation in the AAT that your visa should not be cancelled or refused, and then you can try to win AAT. But here I would like to mention one more thing. If you have got a visa refusal, you cannot lodge any visa onshore, because you are subject to section 48, and you will have to go offshore to lodge any other visa. But definitely you can stay here if you lodge AAT within 21 days, and your bridging visa A will continue further, which is gonna allow you to stay here lawfully in Australia. And how does AAT work? So when you apply for the tribunal, so after a couple of months, or 6 to 7 months, or maybe 3 to 4 months, because the processing time varies, so people get information request from AAT that you need to provide the explanation that why do you think that your visa shouldn't be cancelled. And after that, AAT proceeds further. So if AAT thinks that you have met the student visa conditions and or the 485 visa conditions, and it was immigration case officer mistakes to cancel your visa or refuse your visa, so then there are some chances for you to win the visa. But otherwise, if you have breached the conditions, so then you cannot win AAT. And there is another rumor that if your student visa, onshore student visa has refused, and if you apply for AAT, you don't have to study. So I would like to comment on this, that please make sure that if your student visa is refused and if you have applied for AAT, you will have to maintain the student visa condition. You'll have to work 20 hours per week. You will have to maintain your study. You'll have to maintain your attendance, assignments you will have to complete. If you complete all these tasks, if you maintain the student visa condition, only then there are some chances for you to win AAT.
So there are two scenarios, really simple. So for example, if someone's student visa has been refused, then and you apply to the tribunal, which means you are already on a bridging visa A, which permits you to work 40 hours a fortnight and as well as study. So when you go to tribunal, the first thing tribunal wants to see is whether you are a genuine student. And how do you prove? The first thing you can do to prove that you are a genuine student is that you continuously study. If you are a genuine student, right, you wouldn't waste your time and you will keep on studying. So you must continue to study. Now, whereas cancellation matters can be a little bit different. So if your visa has been cancelled, you go on bridging visa E, which may not have work right and study rights. So in that case, you should still ensure that you apply for the study rights. And if you do get study rights, then you should continue to study. So again, if your study rights have not been granted, then you might have an argument to the tribunal that, look, I've already applied for a study right 3 times, department did not grant me a study rights, hence I could not study. But if you don't simply apply and go to tribunal and say, hey, look, I didn't have study rights and I did not study, tribunal can say, hey, you had an opportunity to apply. If you're a genuine student, you wouldn't have wasted your time and basically you would have studied. So that's another thing you need to consider.
Yeah, I guess we have seen many of the cases like student visas are mostly refused on the basis of GTE criteria. Yeah, so people, they need to meet GTE criteria. So what is GTE? So GTE is basically Genuine Temporary Entrant. So when you apply for student visa, whether it is offshore or onshore, so you'll have to prove that you are genuinely going to study in Australia and you will return back to your home country after you complete your study here in Australia. So for GTE, you will have to maintain study, you will have to work as per student visa condition, and also you'll have to prove your financial ties as well to your home country, personal ties to your home country. If you're meeting the Genuine Temporary Entrant criteria, then there is no point of getting the refusal.
That's right. Yes. Most refusals these days are on GTE criteria. Very occasionally, I mean, of course, if you applied for a student visa, you understand the financial criteria. I'm sure you would provide the financial documents. So I don't really come across a lot of refusals in that area. Usually it is based on the GTE. Yeah.
So also, I mean, we have seen many of the 485 refusals as well. Yeah. So those are,
That's right. Yeah. If you're moving on to 485, since results have started to come out, exams are over, results are starting to come out. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate whoever has completed their studies this semester. You guys, I'm sure you guys have worked really hard for it. But now is the time you need to start thinking about your further future plans, whether it be temporary residence, permanent residence, jobs, employment. So now is the time. You cannot afford to waste your time, right? So now with the 485 visas, a lot of students, they plan to apply themselves, and yes, you got every right to do it. So it's not compulsory to use a registered migration agent. However, if you are planning to apply by yourself, there are certain pitfalls that you need to be careful about. I do come across clients on a regular basis. They end up making silly little mistakes, and the 485s do get refused. So I would like to talk about a few of those pitfalls.
Yeah, AFP is one of the...
Yes, AFP is one of the pitfalls. So AFP check must have been applied before you apply for your 485 visa. So you know how usually sometimes we talk about 28 days, but those 28 days is to submit the documents and not to create the document. So your AFP check must have been applied for before you apply for your 485 visa. So that's one pitfall. Can you think of any other pitfalls?
Health insurance you need to take when you apply for the 485 visa. Also here the completion letter date matters. So when you're completing your 2 years of study in Australia on student visa, then you can apply for 485 visa. So without getting the completion letter, we would not recommend you to apply 485 visa, because sometimes the date on the completion letter might be different if you have already applied for the 485 visa. And also anyway, the eligibility criteria is that you can only apply after the completion of your study. So better to wait for the completion letter and then apply.
I'd like to add a couple more things on the health cover. So health cover requirement is that from the date you apply for your 485 visa until the day you not just get the 485 visa granted, but while you hold that 485 visa, throughout the period you must hold a proper health insurance. Right? So say your student visa is expiring, and on that day your health cover is also expiring, your OSHC is expiring, then you need to ensure you cannot have any gaps. You need to ensure that you purchase for the policy. So the best option would be, as soon as you apply for your 485 visa, make sure you purchase a policy that is compliant with 485 visa, rather than just sticking on to your OSHC. Because if you forget that your OSHC is expired, and then if you have a gap during both these policies, your 485 visa can potentially get refused on those grounds.
Yeah, and also I would like to add on here, because some people they are left with their student visas for 3 to 4 months after the completion of their study, and then they apply for 485 visa, I mean after the completion, but they think that they don't have to maintain the student health cover when they apply for TR. But your substantive visa would be student visa, when even if you have applied for 485, still you need to maintain the student visa condition, and you will have to hold the OSHC till you get your TR, and if your student visa is still existing.
Yes, that's right. So can you think of any other pitfalls? So we spoke about AFP, we spoke about completion letter, we spoke about
relevancy criteria. We have seen, some people they're not meeting. For example, we have seen cases that some people have done certificate 3 in painting and certificate 4 in again in painting, in building and construction, but then their diploma is not matching. I mean, that is not relevant, and even the TR cannot be granted if your 2-year study is not relevant to each other. So
now there is a little bit of gray area, Simi. So for example, there have been a lot of instances where visas have been granted on specialists. So you spoke about painting, decorating, So if somebody studied Cert 3 painting, decorating, certificate 4 in the same, and then diploma in building and construction, a lot of those visas have been approved. But then there are recent cases where department have refused the visa. So if you studied any of such programs, you need to be careful. You need to make your proper research. You need to ensure whether you're eligible or not.
Yeah, so I've seen some cases as well that certificate 3 is in automotive, then certificate 4 is in automotive, but diploma is in management. Still, you are not eligible for TR if the diploma is not relevant. See, basically, you'll have to meet 2 years of study criteria. So if your 2 years of study is relevant to each other, I mean, if you're pursuing 2 different courses, 2 courses should be relevant to each other, and then you can proceed further.
So if I just quickly, I'd like to talk about this 2-year study requirement. So 2-year study requirement, guys, is really you must have studied 1 or more courses that were registered for 92 weeks, and
16 calendar months.
92 weeks of registration and 16 calendar months stay in Australia. And these courses, so if you use more than 1 course to meet this 92 weeks requirement, then each of those courses needs to be relevant to one another. So that's what we were talking about, that whether your certificate 3, 4 and diploma needs to be relevant to one another. I mean, if you studied a master's degree in Australia, then obviously you wouldn't be bothered about this, because your master's degree is registered for 92 weeks or 104 weeks. So you already meet the criteria. So relevancy is not for you. Relevancy is applicable to people who studies more than 1 courses in Australia, and if they're using this study to meet the 92 weeks.
So maybe here we can talk about graduate work stream or post-study work stream to maybe a bit more clearer view about this 485 visa. So so basically 485 is having 2 streams, graduate work stream and post-study work stream. So students who have arrived here in Australia before 5th of November 2011, or if they have done any trade courses, they come under graduate work stream. And those people, they get 18 months of visa. But students who have arrived here in Australia after 5th of November 2011 and have done bachelor's or master's, they come under the post-study work stream and they get 24 months of visa. And the difference is between graduate work stream about the visa duration, but also for graduate work stream you need the skill assessment, provisional skill assessment as well. So mostly, I mean, there are some other occupations as well under graduate work stream. So for example, if someone has done IT, and that person has arrived in Australia before 2011, so that person has to apply for the provisional skill assessment as well to apply TR, and that person will be coming under graduate work stream. But usually I guess trade occupations are there under the graduate work stream. I mean, we come across usually the trade occupation people to apply for the graduate work stream.
Yes, that's right. So mostly a post-study work stream. If you studied a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you go for post-study work stream. You just need to ensure if you package your bachelor's degree with an associate degree, then you might not be eligible for post-study work stream. Or if your last qualification was say graduate certificate or graduate diploma, then you're not eligible as well. Visa. So you need to ensure if you are going for post-study work stream, if you combine more than 1 course, guys, if you're trying to apply by yourself, just seek professional advice. So
anyway, we are providing free of cost 485 service.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, for anyone who's going under post-study work stream, and if you studied IT, accounting or engineering, which means you most likely would be required to study a professional leave program to be eligible for your permanent residence. So if you enroll into a professional leave program via us, we provide you with the free 485 processing. So we won't charge you anything.
We provide free 485 consultation. So if you guys want to apply by yourself, you can have a consultation with the registered migration agent. We have many of the registered migration agents here. I mean, we have different branches in Melbourne itself. So you can go to any branch and then you can have a 485 consultation, and then you can lodge your 485 visa by yourself.
So if you're not trying to apply, just have a professional consultation once. It's not going to cost you anything. It's better that you speak with someone once and then you decide whether you want to do it ahead whether you want to go ahead by yourself or not. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right. So apart from 485,
we can talk about the new updates. I mean, so this is the new financial year. So I guess everyone is so excited about the invitation rounds. I mean, for July invitation, and because the last invitation rounds for a couple of months were not really, good. I mean, last month on the 11th of June, I have seen the statistics that accounting was at 95 points and electronics was at 90 points, but rest of the occupations were at 85 points, which are actually the highest points. So I'm not sure how people are getting 95 points for accounting. But anyway, on 11th of July, let's see what happens, but we are expecting more invitations in this financial year. So if immigration is giving more of the invitations, then more of the people can expect invitations at 85 or maybe 80 points as well, but maybe there should be a long waiting period.
There should be, yes.
So but anyway, here I would like to recommend that don't only rely on your point system. Don't rely on the points only, but try to go for the alternative options. Try to go to some other states, try to meet the state requirements. For example, New South Wales. New South Wales is having different regions, 7 to 8 different regions. So Orana was open lately. It was opened on 1st of July and then it was again closed on 3rd of July. It was only open for couple of days. So it was for accountants, civil engineers, and I would like to recommend you that Orana is going to open again on 1st of August. So be prepared, guys. The requirement for Orana is 6 months of work experience and full-time irrelevant work experience anywhere in Australia for accountants and civil engineers, and full-time employment in Orana. But for rest of the occupations, I mean, as per occupation, the requirement is varying for Orana. So be prepared.
So which means the work experience does not have to be in the Orana region. So if I'm an accountant, my accounting work experience can be anywhere in Australia?
Or anywhere in Australia.
So it has to be in Australia, it cannot be outside of Australia.
And also, the 6 months of work experience does not need to be assessed by any skill assessment authority.
Right.
Orana has written that it should be verifiable. Verifiable means, obviously, I mean,
so it needs to be a genuine work experience and must have worked as an accountant.
It should be verified by the employer.
Right. So I've got one more question further to this. So do I need to be living in Orana when I make an application? So shall I move to Orana first?
It is just the job employment, which means if you have the offer letter in Orana, then still it can work for you.
But does it work in my favor if I move beforehand? Do they look at the application positively? That okay, I'm already living?
Definitely.
So guys, I would suggest, if you're planning to apply for Orana state sponsorship, I would suggest make a move to Orana. Find a full-time employment there, start working, and then apply, which will definitely enhance your chances.
Also there are a couple of more regions which are going to open. Southern Inland is now open, that is New South Wales region. Registered nurses who are having 2 years of work experience, they can apply for Southern Inland. Cook and chefs are, and also the motor mechanics occupation is open in Southern Inland. So people, whosoever is having work experience in as a registered nurse for 2 years, those persons can apply. Also trade occupations are having options in New South Wales regional areas, and also Central West is going to open within a couple of days, and Northern Inland is going to open. So guys, please be ready for the upcoming options, because you'll have to seek the alternative options if you are not meeting the points requirement here.
And another news that I've recently heard is, if you're wanting to increase your points and if you have to do CCL exam, it seems the date bookings have opened up. I don't know how true that is, but there have been few people who's been able to make their bookings. Okay, so guys, again, it's worth a try. Take a look if you're able to register yourself, and if you're able to get a booking, you can prepare for it, and that's easy 5 points.
So keep on working on your points and keep on looking for alternative options. So let's have a look at the questions. I guess there is not many questions. So guys, please share this live session with your friends. If you guys have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. We can try to answer your questions. Ronak Parmar, can you still apply for the next visa after winning AET? Yes, definitely. After you have won the AET, definitely you can go for another visa.
Right. Bhavya Manchanda saying, can we go as dependent visa if on AET? Right. So Bhavya, what happens? I guess you're asking, if you're here on a, say, student visa with your partner, and if your student visa gets cancelled, or say when you apply for another visa and that visa is refused while you and your partner both are in Australia, when you apply for the tribunal, you both apply for the tribunal as well as a co-applicant, which means you both can stay in Australia. But say your partner is in Australia and have applied for the tribunal and you are currently overseas, no, you cannot apply for any dependent visa to be in Australia on a bridging visa. You'll have to wait until your partner's application is finalized.
Yeah. So the next question is Vishnu. Is it possible for student visa after 485 visa? If so, how early need to start for the process? Yes, Vishnu, basically it depends on your genuine intention to study after your TR. So it is possible. I'm not saying it is impossible. Yeah, if you have a genuine intention to study after your TR, then definitely it is possible to get the student visa.
I would suggest, to apply for the visa, you can even apply on the last day when your 485 visa is expiring. But I would suggest plan ahead, at least apply 3 to 4 weeks in advance. Also, even in terms of your studies, if you really want to say study something that enhances your career options, I would suggest start studying well in advance rather than studying after your 485 visa expires. Why? Because this helps you show your genuineness. Because if you are studying while you are on 485, when there was no compulsion to study, that really shows that you are genuinely wanting to finish the study, and that's why you need the student visa. So that will help you with your GTE criteria.
Yeah. So can any invitation for 65 to 70 for electrical engineer? So unfortunately electrical engineer occupation is at 85 points as well. So you'll have to keep on working on your points, but it might be open in one of the regions in New South Wales, and if you meet the requirement, but keep on checking the requirements for New South Wales regions. And if you have any questions, you can contact me and we can update you on the requirements for the New South Wales regions. But the point requirement is still the same, 85.
So you still have to work on your PT or CCL and make sure you reach up to 85 points. I think there's another question for you, Simi. Bhavya is asking, can we, no, hang on, I've already done this one. When will I get, Madhusan is asking, when will I get invitation for an EOI of 80 points in software developer?
So see, as per current situation or as per the last invitation round, the invitations has been issued on 85 points for software engineers as well. But still you can expect your invitation in coming months, because we are expecting more of the invitations in this financial year. So let's wait for this round of July 11th, and then we can give you an exact update that when are you going to get the invitation on this software engineer occupation.
Right. I think Bhavya's got another question. She's asking, can we apply as dependent if we withdraw from AIT? Both are on different visas. So Bhavya, no. Answer would be no. The reason being, once you got a visa refused or cancelled and you applied to the tribunal, you got something called Section 48. So Section 48 bar basically prevents you from applying for any visa while you are in Australia. So say if your partner is holding a visa that you can potentially go overseas and apply, yes, you can do it, but you cannot do it while you are in Australia.
So Shravanthi, what is the points for analyst programmer for invitation? So again, the point requirement is 85. I guess more of the people, they are asking only about the points because they are concerned about their invitations. So guys, please wait for the July invitation round, which is on 11. So let's wait, let's hope for the best that immigration is giving more of the invitations, and so everyone will be getting the invitations.
When's 11th? How far are we? So just next week. So there's only 1 week to go, guys. The wait's not gonna be that long. Let's see what happens on 11th. But it's really, we really assume that there will be more invitations.
Yes.
Which means the points requirement could potentially go down. But if you're making 70 points, continue to work towards making 75 or 80 points, and don't just be in hope that you'll get invited at 70 points.
But keep on working on your alternative options as well. Don't just rely on the point system. Yes guys, so if you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section and we'll try to answer your questions, because due to the shortage of time we cannot continue here. So you can contact me. My contact number is 0414020215, or you can email me on simplepreet.kaur@aussizzgroup.com. And
and if you guys so usually guys we do video by ourselves. Normally if you are a follower, you would notice that there's only one person doing the video. I think this is not the first time, but we don't really have two people doing the same video. So if you prefer us do two people do the video, please let us know in comments, or if or whichever way you prefer. If you prefer, it's much easier for you guys to understand one person. Please let us know in the comments. We are open for your feedbacks. So please do let us know.
And we'll try to improvise.
And we'll try to improve, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, please do contact us if you have any queries for 485 visa. And anyway, you know our services, yeah. And also, I would like to add on, there is Karan Aujla coming. ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਆ 19th ਨੂੰ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ ਪਲੱਸ ਦੀਪ ਜੰਡੂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਮੈਲਬਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਟਰੈਕ ਲਾਂਚ ਟੂਰਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਿਓ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਫੇਵਰਿਟ ਆ।
ਤੇ ਕਰਨ ਜੋਸ਼ੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੋ OSHC ਗਰੁੱਪ ਤੇ ਕਰਨ ਔਜਲਾ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੋ ਟ੍ਰੈਕ ਲਾਉਂਜ ਤੇ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।